When did I apply for this? I will say this: when a job wants you, you will know. All you need is one yes.
Am I really that much to handle? Breaking these niggas down like a camera. You don't really know you are.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to sit down and talk to you guys. I have some updates, some positive news, and I just want to talk to you guys and let you guys know where my head is at and what's going on in my life. Cause you know, in the club, we all fam, like we family, y'all. So without further ado, let's get into it. But before we get into anything, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications so you can be notified every single time I post a video. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at the girl with a flower name. It's the same on all platforms: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, okay? Y'all come through. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for being here and supporting me, and let's get into this video. Okay, if you guys hear any noise, it is my fan. It is a hot day. I think it's like 90 degrees outside. Well, no, actually it's 78. So I don't even know why the fan is on, but the fan is on, all right? So let's talk. So I'm sitting on my couch. I'm enjoying my last days of unemployment because your girl got a job. Yes, I got a job. It only took me 4 years since, you know, getting my degree, but I got a job. And I also have an interview coming up in 2 days for another job. And I'm not gonna lie, if I like what they talking, I might go there if they offer me an offer. But if not, your girl got an offer. Your girl signed the offer letter. So yeah, let's talk about that. So you guys, I have documented my struggles and my frustrations with trying to find a job. It has not been easy. I was not one of those people who had a job immediately after undergrad. No. The only job offer I got before this one was in November 2025, and I did not like what they was talking. I did talk about that. I did not like how they were selling the job to me, because just like you are getting interviewed for the job, at me personally, I have to like what you're telling me, and I have to like the environment I'm gonna work in, because if not, I'm probably not gonna want to stay too long. So why waste my time if I already know I'm not gonna stay? If I don't like what you're talking about, I don't like your line of questioning. So yes, I did talk about that in previous videos. But yes, your girl finally got a job, and a job offer that she liked. I don't even remember applying to the job. I have been looking for jobs for years, applying everywhere, and I have been mass applying. So a lot of times when jobs call me, I'm always like, when did I apply for this? What is this? I'm always confused because jobs do not call you anymore. I remember applying for jobs for my dad, and I would apply on a Monday. They would call on a Tuesday. Jobs will literally call you 5, 6, 7, 8 months later. I have had it happen to me. Jobs will call me months later after I applied. So I am completely confused as to what they're talking about, the job position, right? Like I said, I have an interview coming up Wednesday. I don't even remember when I applied to that. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just going to take the blessings and enjoy the fruits of my labor. So I don't remember applying for this job that I got the offer from currently, but they called me in the end of June. I don't remember exact the date, but it was the end of June. And I had my interview Thursday before 4th of July. So it was 4th of July Saturday or Friday, but I had my interview that Thursday. I went for the interview. The interview was fast. It literally was 15 minutes, if that. And she asked a couple of questions. Tell me about a time, or what would you do? You know, the fake scenarios, the hypothetical scenarios. That is something I have realized with a lot of jobs. They love the tell me about a time or the fake scenarios. So it's really hard to prepare because you do not know what they're going to ask you until you get there. So something I have realized is that you have to just be quick-witted, and you have to be able to keep up a conversation. And that, since I like to talk and I talk on here, I do think that is a strong suit of mine, being able to talk sometime. I'm not gonna say I'm like the best, but I do feel like I got a little gift of gab, just a little bit. So you know, but it was really fast. Basically, like, they asked if we offered you, you know, if we was to extend the offer, when would you be able to start? And I told them as soon as possible, because your girl ain't got no job, so duh. That was that Thursday. The holiday weekend happened, the 4th of July, and then she called me back that Tuesday. She was like, we want you to come in for further questions. I I think she said something to the effect of it's between you and somebody else and I just want to ask you more questions. I don't know how true that was, because when I went back, she called me that Tuesday. I scheduled another interview, the second interview, for that Thursday, and I got the job, right? She asked me a couple questions really fast. If somebody came up here and they were unwilling to show identification, what would you do? And something else. It was something else, like a fake scenario. I answered the question. And then she said, well, you know, do you have any questions for us? And I was like, no, you answered it all in the first interview. And she was like, well, we would like to offer you the job. And I was like, oh, thank you, yes. It was so fast. Literally, the first Thursday, the previous Thursday, I went for one interview. The next Thursday, I was getting extended a job. Something I have realized with being extended a job before, back in November 2025, and now in July of 2026, I will say this: when a job wants you, you will know. When a job does not want you, you will know as well. When a job has you waiting weeks and weeks and weeks, they probably do not want you. I know, because I went through that. They don't want you. Same thing with the interview and the job that I was offered in November of 2025. I did an interview one week. The next week, I did the second interview, and then they called me. I did the same thing. I did the interview on a Thursday, and then they called me that Friday morning at 9 a.m. to offer me the job. It kind of spooked me a bit, because it was like, whoa, like y'all practically hired me on a spot. But that is something I have realized with receiving 2 offers thus far. When a job wants you, they're not going to keep you waiting. They're not going to keep you guessing. They're not going to have you in there 30, 40 minutes, an hour. A lot of the jobs that I have seen, that I have went to, like the job interviews that I have went to, this is my experience, by the way. This may not be your experience. So you can do what you want with this information. If it does not apply, let it fly and keep it pushing, okay? But from my experience, the jobs that I have went to, the interviews that I have went to, and they have asked so many questions and the interview was 30, 40 minutes, those jobs do not want you. And if they keep asking you the same questions over and over, you're probably not answering the questions how they want you to answer. You're not saying the things they want you to say, or they have somebody in mind. But both the jobs that I have received, like the jobs that I have received offers, the interviews were really fast, and they did not keep asking you the same questions over and over and over and over and over, and just asking you in different ways and formatting the question in different ways. They knew that they wanted you, right? And they're probably gonna call you immediately. The job, like I said, the job that I received in November 2025, they literally called. I had my interview Thursday. They called me Friday morning at 9 a.m. I had my interview Thursday at 1 p.m. I was in there maybe 20 minutes. They called me Friday at 9 a.m. I did not take that offer because I did not like their line of questioning. The questioning was weird. I remember the guy in the interview asking me if I owned a pair of Jordans. Yeah. Like, I remember just being like, what type of question is that? It was just really weird. I did not like their line of question. I remember a lady in the interview also asking me, like, if we offered you the job, would you take it? And I was just like, yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm not at this interview for no reason, but the questions were kind of silly, and I just didn't like the questions. And also, a lot of the scenarios that they were trying to throw out there, and a lot of the hypotheticals, it did not relate to what the job posting. Like, the job was for a clerk position, so kind of like a secretary, and they were asking me a lot of questions where I had to deal with people, because it was at a correctional facility and I was supposed to be like a clerk, and they were asking me like, what would you do if an inmate said, oh, you did me dirty? Because I was also supposed to help determine their penalty if they were to break any of the rules in the jail, like have contraband or get into a fight. Like, I was supposed to sit down with like the COs and all these people, and like, you know, me and my colleagues were supposed to come together and determine what the penalty should be for violating the rules within the facility. And I remember thinking, I'm doing all this as a clerk. I'm supposed to be a secretary. It just didn't make any sense to me. So I was just like, yeah, no. And that job, they're literally right now looking for the same position that I applied for and got the offer for. They're looking for somebody now. This is like the 4th time I have saw that within the last 8 months. So every 2 months they're practically looking for a new clerk. Literally every 2 months the job posting is back up and they're looking for a new clerk. And I'm like, I don't know what y'all are doing at that company, but based on that interview, it's probably not good, because people are not staying longer than 60 days, 90 days. They're out. So yeah, I didn't take that offer, and this offer that I'm getting paid more money, so everything works out. I have seen that when a job wants you, they will call you instantly. They will not have you waiting weeks and weeks and and weeks, and they will not have you going through strenuous tasks to get a job. They would not have you on a 2, 3, 4 interviews. No, practically my second interview was just for her to offer me the job. Literally, that's what it was. Like, she just offered me the job there. She asked maybe like 2 questions and then offered the job. Same thing with the other one. I did my interview on Thursday, got the offer on Friday. It practically was like for them to offer the job. That is something I have noticed, and I vowed. In February, I did so. In January and February of this year, 2026, I did so many interviews with many different companies, multiple rounds, and I did not get any of those jobs. And a lot of those interviews were 30, 40 minutes, an hour. One interview was actually 2 hours. It was just a hot mess, and that is something that I vowed. After that, I would never let anybody play with my time like that. Yes, I want a job, but I will not be subject to strenuous tasks, and I will not be jumping through hoops and rings of fire for a job. And I know what it feels like to be looking for a job, to want to, you know, move your life. I remember journaling about this and being like, I just want my life to start. I just feel like I'm just sitting around, I'm getting depressed, I'm losing my mind, I don't know what's gonna happen. And I do feel like now there is a lot of uncertainty surrounding the job market. There's a lot of uncertainty around people's finances, getting the degree, picking a trade. You just don't know what to do because things are changing. Places are having hiring freezes. Some people are, you know, getting offers and then offers are being rescinded. So there's just a lot of uncertainty, and that comes with a lot of stress and pressure because your bills are not uncertain, right? You have things you have to pay, you have people calling you, you know, student loans, you may have credit cards, you may have children, car payments, car insurance, health insurance. There's so many things that you have to think about, and you want a job. So I understand what that feels like, and it can feel really defeating. It can be depressing. You could become really bitter. I know I felt all of those emotions during this time because I felt like I went to college, I did the right thing, and I can't even get an entry-level job. Sometimes these jobs, what they're posting online versus what they're telling you when you get to these interviews are 2 different things. Your time is being wasted, your gas is being wasted. You just don't know what to do. I know exactly how you feel. I have documented my experience. I talked about my frustrations in previous videos. So if this is your first time seeing me, you might want to go back and watch those videos, or maybe a more positive video. I don't know. But I know how it feels. I went to college, I finished college early, I did everything I was supposed to do, I did the internship, and I just thought that I was going to get a job real quick, and that did not happen for me. And I know many others can relate, and I know many others can't relate. Some people got jobs, some people didn't. Something that kept me going was nobody was coming to save me, and I know that sounds so cliche and it's something that everybody says, but nobody's coming to save you. So I realized if I don't keep applying to jobs, a job is not going to just fall into my lap. So I had to keep going. There were moments where I'd be like, I'm just not going to find a job, I'm just going to focus on YouTube. And then there were times like my YouTube views were so low, so I was like, YouTube is definitely not going to bring me any money. So back to Indeed, back to LinkedIn, back to Glassdoor I go. I was calling people, I was calling like human resource offices, like, hey, can I speak to the recruiter, or can I speak to the person that's in charge of hiring? Can we set up an interview? You know, they do not let you go in person anymore. Everything is online. But I don't like that because I feel like I'm getting rejection emails immediately. AI is just sending my application to the garbage, to the trash, and I was like, So I would call people, email people. I had no problems. I was probably a little bit of a nag or a pest, but I wanted a job. And I think I got this job applying directly on the company website. I don't think I applied through Indeed, but then again, I can't necessarily remember because I applied to so many jobs, so it's all a blur. But nonetheless, your girl got a job, signed the offer. This week, I'm gonna do my fingerprints, and then I have to do some other pre-employment things. So that's it, that's all, and I should be starting next week sometime. So yeah, I'm just enjoying my last couple of days of unemployment. Like I said, I do have an interview coming up this Wednesday, and if they're talking my language and I like what they say and they offer me a job, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know. But nonetheless, I know I definitely have a job secured as of right now. The job that I'm supposed to be going to this Wednesday, it aligns more with my degree. I'm excited, but it doesn't feel real. Like, I even find myself saying, I used to always say this, like, I need a job, I need to find a job, and I still find myself saying that, I need a job, and then I'd be like, wait, you have a job. So I have a job. I am on somebody's payroll. Starting next week, I will be on somebody's payroll. And yeah, that's it, that's all. I know how it feels to be looking for a job. I know you can feel kind of overlooked. You feel like you're not doing enough. You feel like nothing is going to open up. That's how I felt, like nothing is going to open up. I'm just going to interview after interview after interview, and I'm not getting any jobs that I'm applying for. I'm still getting rejection emails till this day, but I'd be like, you know what, hey, if you're going through a rough time right now finding a job, keep your head up. You have to keep applying, keep going. Don't be afraid to call people, call HR managers, call recruiters. Never be afraid to do that. I did that. It may be a little unhinged. I used to be so scared of interviews too. So I used to love doing Zoom interviews, but I feel like when you go in person, you probably have a better connection, and maybe you'll feel out the person, because maybe after you are in the room with some of the people that you may work with, you may feel like this is not the company for me. All that glitters is not gold. Because I've had that, like even a job, like I said, I got back in November 2025. I really wanted to work for that company. And then when I got around like the people and the questions they were asking me, and I was like, yeah, this it just didn't feel right. Like I said, I knew during this time that I had to keep applying. Even if I was depressed or stressed or overwhelmed, I knew nobody was going to just give me a job. So I had to keep applying, redo my resume. It's so funny because somebody called me also last week, and it was like, you know, we'll call you in a couple of months. They just had opened this company, and it's for like a clerical role. Who knows? But it just always seems like when I get a call from one job, so many other jobs start pouring in, and then I have like 20 interviews to do. But hey, I'm just gonna enjoy my blessings and express my gratitude. Continue to pray, because I pray for moments like this. I know how it feels. I used to just be sitting in my room like, oh, here we go, another day, just laying in the bed, bored, losing my mind, talking to myself, because you know the main thing that you're missing is a source of income. But I try to stay positive. That is something that has got me through these years, staying positive, trying to stay busy, picking up hobbies. But yeah, I'm excited for my new journey and my new endeavors. I don't know how long this job will last. Who knows? Your girl could get fired on her first day. I don't know. I don't want to be negative, but hey, you know, everything is just so uncertain. But I'm just going to enjoy things while I can and just learn to count my blessings. And yeah, this time has definitely humbled me looking for a job, and it's taught me that nothing is certain. No matter what you do, you can do everything right and still things just don't pan out how you want them to. So like they say, you tell God your plans and he laughs. This time has definitely humbled me, and it's taught me to be grateful and to move with grace. You know, get my ego in check. My ego has been checked many times, because there's a lot of jobs I knew, oh, I'm gonna get this job, oh, they definitely gonna call me back, and no, I did not get it. So rejection was something that I constantly faced throughout this process, but there is going to be a yes. All you need is one yes. That's all it takes, one yes. So it just, somebody has to give you a chance, and that's it. I'm super excited-ish. Like, it just feels so surreal. I just don't know how to feel, but I'm making the best out of it. It just feels foreign for me to have a job. This is my first real job. It just feels so foreign for me to say that, oh, I have a job, and for me to be preparing for work. Like, I got my work clothes set out, I got my outfits planned out, I got my work bag ready. It just feels weird, you know, because this day has been prolonged for 4 years, so I just feel numb a little bit. You know, I thought that when I got a job, it would just feel so liberating and so freeing, but it just feels regular. And I don't know why. Maybe it's gonna take to my first day for me to feel like all of the things, but I am kind of like happy, but I don't know, it just feels surreal. Yeah. So yeah, if you're going through a rough time finding a job, please stay in there, keep applying. You may have to redo your resume. Don't give up. Do not give up, because if you give up, then you'll never know what job you could have gotten, or you don't know where you could have ended up. You have to keep going. I don't have no connections. I didn't network. I didn't do anything. I did everything by myself. So I know that can be frustrating too. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. That can be frustrating to hear because you may not have connections and you're just like, hey, I have exhausted all my resources. I have, you know, crossed my T's, dotted my I's. I have done everything. I don't know what to do next. You just don't know what's coming next. It can be super frustrating. I know exactly how you feel. To where, like I said, now I just feel so numb and it feels surreal to where it just doesn't feel real that I have a job. You're going to get something will open up for you. What is meant for you will not miss you. You guys have watched my journey, you guys have heard my complaints over the years, and your girl finally got a job and I'm excited. I will be taking you guys along as much as I can. I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to film, but I'm gonna try to get as much content as I can. I'm not gonna just become one of those work YouTubers, but I will try to incorporate like my job into my vlogs if I can. I don't know how much footage, so I can't make any promises because I do not know if I'll be able to film in a facility. I don't know, but I will try to keep you guys updated and keep you guys in the loop. I'm not gonna just abandon you guys now because I got a job. Like, I'm not gonna feel like, oh, you know, she got a job, she don't talk to us no more. No, I'm gonna still talk to y'all. Y'all gotta subscribe though. Talk to me. I want to talk to y'all in the comments. Y'all comments have kept me going over these months and years. You guys don't know how much your comments really mean to me. I love when you guys comment. I love talking to you guys. So don't ever be afraid to comment. Be respectful, but don't ever be afraid to comment and talk to me. I will respond to you. So yeah, thank you guys for supporting me on my journey. Your girl got a job. It is official. Your girl got a job. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we got a new journey to go on together, guys. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so you can be notified every single time I post a video. Follow me on all social media platforms at @thegirlwithaflowername. And yeah, I'm gonna see you guys in my next one. Bye.